if you break it down fundamentally, 56% of marriages end in divorce. Like, think about, that's the ones that end in divorce.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman.
These are 4 reasons why you should reconsider marriage. Let's get it. 1, look at the fucking numbers, bro. Fuck your family and friends. The up-to-date divorce rate in America is 56%, with 80% being filed by women. And you know what's crazy? It would really be 70%, right? Because 10 to 50% of couples, right? They stay married unhappily just to keep the family afloat.
Marriage was once the ultimate goal for most men, a rite of passage, a marker of adulthood, and the foundation for family life. But in recent decades, the traditional institution of marriage has lost much of its luster, especially among men. Today, more and more men are walking away from the idea altogether, choosing singlehood, cohabitation, or casual relationships instead. While the notion of 99% of men avoiding marriage may sound exaggerated, the reality is that marriage rates have steadily declined for years, and men, in particular, are leading the retreat. So, why are men saying thanks but no thanks to the altar? Let's break down 7 major reasons behind this cultural shift. Number 1, the risk of divorce and financial ruin. One of the biggest fears men have about marriage is the risk of divorce, and for good reason. In most developed countries, divorce rates hover around 40 to 50%, and when marriages do end, men are often left bearing the brunt of the financial fallout. From alimony payments to child support to the division of assets, divorce can feel like an economic landmine. Many men have witnessed friends, family members, or even celebrities lose everything they worked for in a courtroom battle. The fear of marrying half your stuff away has become a legitimate deterrent. For men who have worked hard to build careers, savings, or businesses, marriage can feel like a gamble where the odds are stacked against them. Number 2, changing gender roles and expectations. Traditional marriage once offered men a clear role, provider and protector. In return, women typically ran the household and cared for children. But in today's world, those roles have shifted. Many women are financially independent and have careers of their own, which is a positive societal change. But it also leaves men wondering what they're truly bringing to the table. On the flip side, men are still often expected to provide financially, even in dual-income households. This double standard creates resentment and confusion. Some men feel that marriage no longer comes with clear, fair expectations. Instead, it has become a never-ending negotiation of roles, duties, and responsibilities, one many men would rather avoid altogether. Number 3, the loss of freedom and independence. Marriage, by its very nature, requires compromise. For some men, that compromise feels like losing a piece of themselves. Freedom to make financial decisions, pursue hobbies, travel spontaneously, or even just enjoy peace and quiet at home often gets diluted within marriage. Many men equate marriage with losing their freedom, being tied down, nagged, or burdened with responsibilities that make life feel heavier. For men who highly value independence and self-direction, staying single or simply dating feels like a better option than stepping into what they perceive as a lifelong contract of restrictions. Number 4, the decline of social pressure to marry. 50 years ago, a man who stayed single was often looked down upon or pitied. Marriage was almost mandatory if you wanted to be considered successful or grown up. But times have changed. Today, society doesn't put the same pressure on men to get married. In fact, bachelorhood is often celebrated, especially in media and pop culture. Men see examples of high-profile figures living single, wealthy, and happy lives. And the stigma once attached to lifelong singlehood has all but disappeared. Without the societal pressure pushing them into marriage, many men are realizing they simply don't want it for themselves. Number 5, fear of false accusations and legal vulnerability. This point is more controversial, but cannot be ignored. Some men fear the legal vulnerabilities that come with marriage and relationships. In divorce proceedings or custody battles, men often feel the system is biased against them. Even outside of marriage, the rise of publicized false accusations related to abuse or misconduct has made some men cautious about long-term commitments. For these men, marriage feels like walking into a legal trap where a single disagreement or bad breakup could permanently damage their finances, reputation, or even access to their children. Number 6, the rise of alternative lifestyles. Marriage is no longer the only socially accepted blueprint for adult life. Men today have options that previous generations didn't. Cohabitation without marriage has become common, allowing couples to enjoy companionship without the legal and financial strings attached. Some men choose casual dating, while others pursue non-traditional arrangements like polyamory or long-term bachelorhood. In addition, technology and globalization have expanded opportunities for travel, work, and personal growth outside of marriage. Simply put, men have more ways than ever to design fulfilling lives without signing a marriage contract. 7. The question of value. What's in it for me? At the heart of it, many men are asking a blunt but fair question. What does marriage offer me in 2025 that I can't get elsewhere? Sex, companionship, emotional support, and even children are no longer exclusively tied to marriage. Men can access relationships, intimacy, and even parenthood outside the institution. And when they compare the potential benefits of marriage to the risks, divorce, financial liability, and loss of freedom, the equation simply doesn't balance in marriage's favor. To many men, marriage looks like an outdated contract designed for a world that no longer exists. The decline of marriage among men is not about bitterness, immaturity, or fear of commitment, as critics often suggest. It's about practicality, risk assessment, and cultural evolution. Men today live in a world vastly different from their fathers and grandfathers, with fewer social pressures, more alternative lifestyles, and greater awareness of the risks. Men are making rational choices about what works for them. For some, that still means marriage, but for many others, it means walking away from an institution they no longer see as beneficial. Whether this trend strengthens or reverses in the future remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. The traditional idea that marriage is the default for men is over. Today, marriage is a choice, and increasingly, it's one that men are choosing not to make.